Good morning. This is Coach Candy, and we are here with Coffee Chats with Coach Candy. As you know, we are going to have a different theme every day, Monday through Friday, and today is all about Monday mindset. We are starting a new week, and we're also getting towards the end of first quarter, right? And so there's usually a lot of things weighing on your mind, maybe some stresses that are showing up. You might be reflecting back on, most of the first quarter going, wow, I just didn't get those resolutions done. I'm just not making progress on some of the things I said I wanted to be doing. Man, where did the time fly, right? And I want you to realize that, first of all, just pause. Let's slow down for a minute and let's take a little inventory. First, I want you to really acknowledge that you have done the best that you could have done up to this point with what you have. Regardless of whatever you did or didn't do in the past 3 months, just know that you did the best you could, and it's time to offer yourself a little forgiveness, a little space to say, okay, you know what, I got this, and it's time for reset. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start out with Mondays being all around mindset. Tuesdays are going to be a training module, something that could actually be a strategy or a resource that you can actually take into your life, into your business. Wednesday is going to be about the space of wonder. So we're going to talk about imagine if and start to dream bigger and play with the possibilities. And then Thursday is going to be all around a throwdown. I'm going to put a challenge down so that you have something to level up your game, challenge yourself with, and truly push yourself out of that comfortable zone. And then Friday is going to be my feature space where I am going to share with you resources, tools, books, podcasts, things that have significantly changed my life, and want to make sure you can get your hands on those as well. So hello, Killian. Great to see you. So glad that some of you are jumping on. Just want you to know that, again, today is about Monday mindset. Today we are going to talk about the difference between obligation and opportunity. And what do I mean by that? We often get caught up in this space. And like I said, we're getting on the end of a quarter. We are starting to look at the fact that, it's another Monday and all of the to-dos that are on our list. And a lot of times what happens is we get caught up in this space of, I have to do this. I should do this. I need to do this. Or I got to do this, right? And so think about how that feels for yourself. Think about when you use those frames, I have to, I need to, I should, I got to, how you feel. More times than not, you're not feeling really light, really invigorated, really enthusiastic, really charged up about what you've got available for you. Instead, we feel like it's this huge, heavy, anchoring obligation, right? Oftentimes we get in that space of, right? It's the shoulders go down. We take that deep breath and we feel like something's being done to us. I don't know about you guys, but I know whenever I think about those phrases, when I think about I have to do something, when I need to do something, when I should, and I'm shoulding all over myself, or when I feel like I got to, that's my favorite one, right? I feel like this petulant little child in me wants to kick their feet and, hey, Terry, great to see you, wants to kick their feet, stomp around and be like, no, I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that. You're not the boss of me, says who, right? And so we get in this space where we put this unnecessary anchor, this unnecessary weight. And so think about it. You get up first thing in the morning, the alarm clock goes off, and most of the time we groan and say things like, oh, I have to get up. Already we're setting in motion that very negative, that very anchoring, that very kind of debilitating space that's got our energy already depleted before we've even put our feet on the floor. And so we think about the fact of, oh, I've got to have my cup of coffee, which, by the way, cheers to all of you. Here's my keto coffee to join us for this morning. But I want you to think about, yay, I'm super excited that you're here too, Terry. So I'd love to hear some thoughts from you guys that are jumping on as well. But the idea that, starting a Monday morning with any kind of space around, I have to, I need to, I should, or I got to. I want you to think about what that's doing in terms of setting the tone for your whole week. It's not just creating the tone for how you're starting your Monday and how you're getting yourself kind of fired up to take on the opportunity for the next week, but you're actually setting the whole tone for that entire week simply by the way that you show up and get up on Monday mornings. And so I want you to think about it. I want you to think about everywhere where you're using the have tos, or you're using the need tos, or you're shoulding all over yourself. It's amazing to me how much we should all over ourselves. And I know some of you are like, okay, Candy, it's really early in the morning and I haven't had my full cup of coffee yet, so cheers, have a little caffeine. And you're already talking about shitting all over yourself. Did you say shoulding or shitting? And I'm like, it's the same thing. And I share that a lot with my clients and share that at my events. Not one, because it kind of gets people to wake up a little bit, but two, think about that. There's no difference whether you're shoulding or shoulding, right? Because you're burying yourselves in layers of that nonsense, that crap that's running downhill and is starting to create that momentum, starting to create that space for your day. And so I want you to think about where you're shitting all over yourself, where you're setting up your day unintentionally without the right purpose, without the right focus, without the right space to really understand that everything that you get to do, hey Elaine, happy Monday to you too. Everything that you do is an opportunity to take on your own responsibility. You get a choice. And we talk a lot about leadership being a choice. And it's a function of how you choose to show up. It's a function of how you choose to serve. And it's a function of how you take personal responsibility. When you choose, even inadvertently or half asleep or not really conscious of the fact that you're setting yourself up to be in a space of what feels very obligatory, what feels like a heavy, weighed down obligation, I want you to reset. I want you to think about, is that how I choose to show up? Do I want to show up from this space of kicking my feet and kind of putting my hands on my hips and being the petulant child that's just like, I don't want to? Do you want that kind of energy in terms of how you show up and serve? Or do you want to create a space that says, I get to do these things? And I know that there's things that we all have, especially as business owners and entrepreneurs. There are things you do every day that you are not excited about doing. There are things that sometimes just feel like, wow, really, this is something that's on my plate right now. And what we forget or lose sight of is the fact that everything is an opportunity, even if it's just a stepping stone to get us to where we want to be on the other side. So think about it for example. And I would love to hear from some of you guys that are joining. Hi, Ruth. Glad to have you with us. I'd love to hear from some of you that are on right now. What are some of those obligations? So give me one of those, okay, Candy, this is a have to do. This isn't anything fun about this. Share with me a have to, and we'll walk through how that's a space of actually a get to, just by changing our language and showing you the walk to the end. So I'd love to hear, give me an example of a have to. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee while I'm waiting. Let's see, I'm gonna say hello to some people here. Share a little love. All right, while I'm waiting for you guys to weigh in, I'm gonna give you an example of a get to, or a have to, that we put on ourselves, right? Tax season's upon us. We have 2 weeks until it's big old tax day, right? April 15th, the big dreaded tax day. Oh, there we go. No, I love that. Let's start with that one, and then I'll come back to the tax one. I have to go to the gym. That's a huge one, right? Because we have to do things to take care of our body. Well, what's interesting about that is the I have to go to the gym is still actually a get to. And let me explain why. First of all, the only two have tos you have to do in this world. One is to be born so that you're in this world and living your life in this world. And then the other thing that you have to do is die, because no one's figured it out. So think about the fact that when you say, I have to go to the gym, think about the energy that creates for you. Usually that's one of those spaces where you're like, oh, I have to go to the gym. It feels so just, I don't know, it feels like this thing you don't want to do. It feels like somebody's kind of forcing you to do something that feels completely out of your comfort zone. It feels like, oh, it's just one more thing to add to the pile. When I want you to think about what's the outcome you get as a result to going to the gym. So let's look at this from an outcome-based perspective. When you say I have to go to the gym, give me an example of what do you get as a result of going to the gym? How do you feel after a good workout? And anybody can weigh in on this. So think about that. How do you feel after a good workout? They talk about the runner's high or a yoga's high, or for me, I get a boxing high. I love to hit the bags. Think about when you've got a good sweat, you've worked in, you've got those endorphins running. How do you typically feel after you've gotten a good workout in? you typically feel really good, right? You feel like you did something great for your body. Now let's move that out a little bit further. So it's not just about the instant gratification that you get from that workout, from knowing that you challenged your body, from knowing that you put yourself in a space to really, push yourself, stretch yourself, do things that are going to keep you healthy. Let's take that a step further. Now you're going to the gym on a regular basis. What does that do for you? It's helping you have better cardiovascular system. It's helping you be more flexible. It's, if you're someone like me who does big 3-day events and is on their feet all day, it helps me do that without having pain in my body. It helps me actually show up and do the work that I want to do, that I need to do, a necessity need, not that anchoring need, but that work that I get to do. I've got to have my body being in a place to carry me into those spaces to do that kind of work. So I want you to think about what the outcome is of that kind of heavy anchoring. I have to do something. So you have to go to the gym, but what does it get you? What's the benefit of going to the gym? What's the outcome? The benefits are you feel really good afterwards. You're improving your health, your cardiovascular system, your ability to be flexible, your ability to not have pain in your body. Maybe you have more energy. Maybe it's creating longevity in your life so that you'll be around for your kids and your grandkids. Maybe it just, you're leaning out and you get to wear those really cute favorite outfits that you want to wear. Whatever it is, what you do then is think about all of the benefits. You think about all of the return on investment you're getting. And one of the things that we don't spend enough time in is looking at what our own personal ROI is. What's the ROI we're getting from the investment that we put in? And so I want you to think about, every time you think about I have to go to the gym, I want you to think about what's the opportunity cost versus the return of the benefit that you're getting on the other side. And immediately that will help you shift the frame to say, I get to do this. I get to make this choice. Because the big thing I want you to realize around the get tos versus the got tos or the have tos is that you are putting yourself in a position to take responsibility for the choice you're making. So I want you to think about these phrases instead. I get to. I'm honored to. I'm blessed to. I'm grateful for. I choose to. I am. When you start to put yourself in that position, you take away that heavy anchoring feeling of obligation and step into a place of full responsibility to say, I see the opportunity before me. Even if this specific task isn't something that lights me up, I know that by doing this, I'm getting X, Y, and Z. And so let me go back to the tax example for a minute. Tax day's coming up in 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks from today, holy cow. And I have to say, I actually get excited about tax day. Whereas before, I used to be one of those people that grumbled and was like, oh my God, I gotta pay my taxes, blah, right? And what we don't realize is that's such an opportunity, especially as a business owner. If I'm paying taxes, it means my business is thriving. It means I'm actually making money in my business. That says that the price of entry to be an entrepreneur in this country is that I get to pay a tax so that I get to make money on my own terms and live life my way. How exciting is that? I have to tell you, last year I paid the biggest tax bill, and this one's going to be even bigger, which means my business is growing. I'm growing in terms of being able to carry my message. Oh, excuse me. Carry my message and open up new spaces and create bigger impact. That last year when I wrote my tax bill, it was a big bill, let me tell you. And I remember sitting there going, oh. And then what I did is I opened up a bottle of champagne afterwards. And I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but what you really get the opportunity to realize is that I connected it to the growth I had throughout my entire year in 2017. The fact that I wrote this huge tax bill meant that I grew my business 2-3x%, or 3 times over. Let me say 2x or 3x, 100+% in my business. I was able to create an opportunity for myself so that I could impact and influence more people. I love paying taxes. I am so deeply honored and blessed and grateful. And I do that with every bill that I get. I do that with every bill that I get. In fact, even on my bills, I write on them, thank you with a smile. I write paid, smiley face, and then I write thank you with a heart. Because I realize that all of that is an opportunity that I'm affording my lifestyle, that I'm affording myself to live on my terms, my way, and to really be grateful for the things that I have, such as heat, and I get to have a roof over my head, and I have food to eat, and I live in a beautiful community, and I'm about to buy a new house. And these opportunities that are given to me, I have deep gratitude for, because if you truly want to change your mindset, if you truly want to have a greater, more purposeful, passionate, just presence in your life, it starts with gratitude. And the first way to shift into that space of gratitude is to move out of that heavy anchoring space of obligation and truly move into a space of opportunity. And so let me see some of your comments, because I see them coming in. Ruth, writing blogs, writing newsletters, writing. Feels like an obligation sometimes, right? Think about what that's allowing you to do. Create the benefit on the back end. So what is that writing allowing you to do? It's allowing you to build an audience, to have bigger impact. You get to write. You have the opportunity to share your voice, to share a message. And so rather than looking at writing as a chore, what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you have an opportunity, and this gets me a little emotional thinking about that. You have an opportunity and a moral obligation to share a message with the people that need you. And think about the fact that if you didn't write those blogs, think about the fact that if you didn't show up for those people on a regular basis, who needs you? Who needs you to be the one to help them, to be their lighthouse, to move them forward? And so I read this amazing quote once from Jay Abraham that said, if you believe that what you have brings value to your clients, to people, then you have a moral obligation to share it in every way possible. And when I think about that kind of that necessity, burning need of, I have a moral obligation to show up at 7:30 in the morning with all of you. And I had somebody challenge me, because I used to be a self-proclaimed not morning person. I have to get up, I have to do this. And I'm like, no, I get to do this. I get to be someone who shows up every day for you to help inspire you to take action for greater intention, to show up with greater presence, to hopefully shift some of that mindset so that you can serve more people and you can stand in that space of moral obligation for yourself. And so I want you to think about, Ruth, when you're thinking about writing those blogs, think about the privilege and the opportunity and the honor. And my eyes are already watering. It's Monday morning and I'm already in that space. But that honor that you get to share your voice with the people that need you most. Terry, you have to find money while you get your business cash flow going in the morning. What I want you to realize is, and think about, and I just read last night, I needed a reset on this, and I know it's not Feature Friday, but I'm going to share this resource anyway. And it's called The Go-Giver. Bob Berg, and I forget the other author. I actually had the opportunity to meet Bob Berg, fantastic human being. Really quick read it. It took me maybe an hour and a half to read it. It's kind of like Who Moved My Cheese, but it's all about putting yourself in a space to give and give and give and give and give and trust that you'll get what you need to receive on the other side. And so think about that. First of all, we have to open ourselves up to receive. One of the laws is receptivity. The 5 laws that he talks about is the law of value. So knowing that you are putting out more than you're taking from other people, and you're putting yourself in a position to give, give, give. And then there's a law of compensation that says what you put out at whatever level that is, you have to, on a universal level, get paid back for that at the same level. And so that law of compensation demands, or law of reciprocity demands that. Then there's the law of influence. We have an opportunity to create greater impact, to share our message. We get to do this every day. And then there's a space of showing up authentically. There's a space of knowing that the best value that you bring is the value of you. And then there's the receptivity that says you're open to receiving. And so, Terry, while I know it can get tough sometimes when you're thinking about, man, I got to make that money, shift that space into, I get to influence and impact instead. One of the biggest shifts I had in my business was when I kept saying, I got to build a 7-figure business. I'm going to build a 7-figure business. And I couldn't understand why I kept getting stuck. And it wasn't until I shifted the frame to say, I get to influence more than 1 million people. I'm building an organization around impacting more than 1 million people in the next 12 to 18 months. Wow, talk about a game changer. Because I guarantee if I'm going out and impacting 1 million people in the next 12 months or more, I guarantee that the compensation I need to serve at that level will come in twofold, threefold, fivefold, tenfold. It doesn't even matter. I can't show up full out in that space of value, in that space of authenticity, in that space of influence, and not receive something back. And to trust and have faith and know that is the opportunity that you get to. So realize that you get to trust that. You get to put yourself in a position to say, I'm going to stop worrying about I need to get money, and I'm going to start focusing on how I get to serve at a higher level, and that everything I do is bringing more value than what I'm asking for in return back. It's not a game of you did for me, now I've got to do for you. It's not this 50-50 compromise. It's a space that says, I'm going to stop keeping score. And when you stop keeping score and you put yourself in a space to be that intentional, you now start your day with passion, presence, purpose, and can set your intention to say, I get to show up this way. And so let's see, what are some of the other comments? Energized, love that. Elaine, love that you were on here. Stronger for the day ahead. Beautiful, Ruth, love that. Depends on the motivation. If you choose you have to go to the gym, that's fear of being overweight, that I might have a heart attack, etc. Nuno, that's so true. Think about the fact that when we keep ourselves in that obligatory space, that space of obligation, we're allowing the fear of what if. And I'm going to talk about what ifs on Wednesday, so be sure to join. We're going to shift those really negative anchoring what ifs. That what if I stay overweight? What if I don't? What if I have a heart attack? What if this happens? Versus imagine if I get to do this instead. And so, yes, when we think about what's motivating us, so instead of focusing on losing weight, and we're going to start getting into this more every morning, how our words matter. Our words are everything. And so I want you to think about words like, I want to lose weight. Think about anything else you say when you say lose. I lost my keys. I lost my dog. I lost my job. Typically, we want to do what when that happens? We want to find them. And so if you think about, I want to lose weight, somewhere in your subconscious brain, you're going to want to find that weight and put it back on. So I'm not going to get into that so much today, but I want you to realize that our words matter. So instead, I want you to think about, I want to go to the gym so that I feel healthier. Because one of the things that our obligation, the space of obligation that we get to change, is stop focusing on what you don't want and start moving towards what you do want instead. So if you don't want to feel heavy, if you don't want a heart attack, if you don't want to be overweight, then start focusing on what you do want, what you want to open up access for, and start knowing that that's a choice every day of what you get to do that are the steps to help get you there. What you focus on, what you speak about, what you think about, you bring about. So when you change that frame of, I don't want, I have to do, to this is what really matters to me, and this is what I get to choose instead, powerful game changer, powerful. I love that. I love that, Terry. I get to take care of myself to be the healthiest, strongest me I can be. Yes. Oh, hi, Pat. Glad you joined as well. However you say, I want to go to the gym, then your motivation is vision, like I want to look attractive. Yes, and what I would say about that is hold on to the I want to look attractive. I want to feel fit. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel energized, and let go of anything that is that I don't want space. And so, yes, drive your motivation, because motivation is that self-intrinsic thing, just like empowerment. It is something that you choose from within you. Choose your motivation to be those things that you're moving towards. And so I love this. I love this conversation. You guys are great. I absolutely love this. James, so glad to have you on board. Carol, so excited to have you. Meg, welcome. Oh, it's so great to see all of you this morning. I love that you are sharing this space with me at now 7:54 on a Monday morning to get inspired, to truly put yourself in an intentional space, to gauge your mindset, check in, and make sure that you are showing up in the best way possible. I love this. There are a million teens know standing strong in their own. Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love you too. Oh, thank you, Meg. Paul, thank you for your early morning video. You guys are welcome. Thank you. Are you kidding? Thank you for showing up. This is exciting for me. It's exciting that I am honored to. I feel so blessed that I get to start my mornings with you. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that this discussion today, there's a little bit that you're taking away so that you choose to show up full out. Because remember that you as a leader, and every one of us has that responsibility, has an opportunity to be a leader. It starts with you realizing you have a choice in terms of how you show up, how you serve others, and the responsibility you take inside of there. And your language, your frames, the space of I don't want, I have to, I need to, I should, I got to, you can choose to play there, or you can choose to play in this much more expansive, open, energizing space that says, I want to be this person. I am becoming this person. I get to, and I'm blessed to, and I'm honored to. I'm grateful that I get to show up and serve in this capacity. With that, I love all of you. I am so glad that you all jumped on for the very first Coffee Chat with Coach Candy. I am going to be here every morning at 7:30. We have a different theme every day. Like I said at the beginning, Mondays are all around your mindset. It's all around creating the right mindset to start the week. Tuesday, I'm going to do some training. I'm actually going to bring a strategy to help you level up in your life and business. Wednesday, we're going to get into the space of wonder. We are really going to take an opportunity to move from this negative what if space that is really anchoring most of us into this powerful space to dance and imagine if and play with the possibilities. Thursday is going to be the throwdown space. I am going to throw a big challenge that is purposely going to make you uncomfortable so that I can stretch you and push you and grow you into your next level. And on Friday, we are going to do a Feature Friday space where I get to share some of the most amazing tools, resources, books, podcasts. I read a book a week. I have so many delicious, amazingness stuff, awesomeness that I want to share with you. So stay tuned for all that. And let me just see the last couple comments here. In corporate, when we were driving big change, we'd say, what you measure gets done. Yes, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about accountability and metrics for sure. And we were very careful to choose our words to get positive outcome. We get to do the same thing for everything in our lives. Amen to that. Thank you, Terry. I love that. I'm glad I got to be part of your inaugural call. Oh, I love that. Well, I am so deeply honored that all of you are here. I'm sending you huge, 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 huge heart-to-heart hugs, and I hope I'll see y'all tomorrow. With that, make it a phenomenal Monday. Go out, kick some ass, and show up at the best way possible. And remember, you get to do everything that's available for you as an opportunity. With that, mwah, cheers. I will see y'all tomorrow.